Hi, everyone. Thank you for tuning in to our podcast today. These podcasts are brought to you in part by our sponsors, who really truly are what make these podcasts possible every week. O'Fallon Nutrition is a company that I've worked with for over 15 years. They're independently owned and operated, located here in O'Fallon, Missouri, right off of Highway K and Mexico Road. I call this place the Whole Foods of St. Charles County, but even if you are not located on this side of the river, it is still worth the drive. I can remember working all the way down at Powerhouse and still sending people out to O'Fallon Nutrition for their supplements. They are more than a supplement company. You can get grass-fed beef, salad dressing, seasoning for your cooking, hair care products, makeup, deodorant, toothpaste, essential oils, and all the vitamins and minerals that you can think of. If you're looking for clean, whole food nutrition, as well as home care, house care, skincare products, O'Fallon Nutrition is your place. You can take a look at them at o'fallonnutrition.com, or if you'd like to have something shipped, if you're listening to me from outside of St. Louis, you can certainly have items shipped. I know they do free shipping if it's an order over $50, and the phone number is 636-240-5283. Again, it's o'fallonnutrition.com. As well as if preparing your food on a weekly basis is your primary excuse for why you're not able to stay on a good, clean eating program, which is something that I hear very regularly from my clients, I would ask you to please take the time to check out Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com. They are a phenomenal place. We get our food from there during the week. They deliver to our Integrity location. They will deliver to your house. They also are just available for pickup. You can go to their Chesterfield location or their Kirkwood location and just pick up meals for the day, as well as just having them delivered right to your door. So if preparing your food is your main excuse for why you cannot stay on a healthy eating program, then I would suggest just stop by Pure Plates. Just try it. If you're trying to lower your blood pressure, you're trying to lower your cholesterol, you're trying to get your blood sugar down, try to do Pure Plates meals for a week and just see how different you feel. These are organic meals. They are gluten-free. If you need them to be, they can be dairy-free. They are soy-free. You're not taking any processed sugars or meat-curing agents or preservatives. They really, truly believe in nutrient-dense meals that are just whole food nutrition. And I've had my clients, or I've made recommendations for my clients for years at Pure Plates. It's pureplatesstl.com, or you can call them to ask questions at 636-778-3555. Again, remembering that they have a location in Chesterfield as well as in Kirkwood that you can just run by and pick up a meal today. Everyone always asks me where I get my meat from, and given that I really eat meat on a daily basis, typically beef primarily, my meat is very important to me. I have an autoimmune condition and I want grain-free, corn-free meat, and I just haven't found the confidence in stores in knowing that I'm getting 100% grass-fed, grass-finished beef. And I have searched and searched and searched for the right farm, and I have found the farm. It's fedfromthefarm.com, fed, F-E-D, from thefarm.com. These farmers are amazing. It's a family. They're here in Missouri, and they have the desire, just like I do, to see people well and to see people healthy, and they put a lot into what they do. It's such a wonderful family to support. They do offer 100% grass-finished, grass-fed, meaning that's it. A beef, and I get my ribeyes, I get my ground beef, my ground sirloin, I get my chuck roast. I mean, they basically have everything. They even have awesome jerky, but they also have eggs, they have chickens, and they have turkey. I'm planning on getting a turkey for Thanksgiving, and if you'd like lamb, they have that as well. But if you are in need of good quality grass-fed, grass-finished beef, or quality eggs, chicken, turkey, don't just settle for what you're getting at the local store. to go out on the internet and check out Fed from the Farm. That you can arrange a pickup or you can have it delivered to your home. And I can guarantee you're going to taste the difference. For me, my health actually depends on it. So I really thank God to have found such a great farmer. Fedfromthefarm.com. I hope it blesses you.
Welcome to Faith, Fuel, and Fitness, the Integrity Way, with your hosts, John and Debbie Morris from Integrity Training Systems.
Good afternoon, everybody. This is John and Debbie Morris of Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. If you're just tuning in with us for the first time, we always like to start by talking to you about what it means to be a warrior. And a warrior in the dictionary is described as a brave or experienced soldier or fighter. It's important that there are ors because a lot of people say, I'm not brave and I'm not a soldier, and it's like, well, you don't have to be. As long as you're experienced and you've fought something in your life, then you're capable of being a warrior. And if you're capable of being a warrior, it means you're capable of fighting through whatever it is you're dealing with now. So a lot of times people talk about, well, this is the hardest fight I've ever been in. This is the toughest thing I've ever had to overcome. But at some point in your life, you've probably said that. And honestly, you've probably said it quite a few times before that. So every time we get through life, you hear the term another level, another devil, next level, next devil. You end up at something that's usually greater than where you've been. And that's because the progress of life is usually forward. Now, sometimes we can stumble and fall backwards, but the general concept is to be further in life than you were the day before. And a lot of times that comes with furthered and harder complications. So we always like to just kind of give you guys some hope on overcoming things and fighting through things. And the holidays seem to be like a tough time of year for a lot of people. It's kind of sad because really coming from Thanksgiving into Christmas should be a beautiful time. It's always tempted to be surrounded around family, assuming that's not one of the things that you have a struggle or a difficulty with. And, you come into both Thanksgiving and Christmas and it gets to where you're like worried about the end of the year and taxes are coming up at the beginning of the year. And, you're buying gifts and did I get the right gifts? And have I got everybody a gift? And am I going to be able to get to Black Friday without getting knocked out? And, it's like there's always something. So we just find that so many of our clients end up stressed this time of year. So, Deb, do you have anything you want to talk about today as far as like anybody that has kind of overcome something recently or yourself or anything that someone's fighting through? Give some people some hope.
I think it's important to a couple things. Just to be very cautious with the way you align yourself with your words because when you go into this time of year, if you try to position yourself as an addict, I think that gets used so freely. I'm a sugar addict. I just have an addiction to sugar. I keep messing up because I'm addicted to this. You're owning it. You're definitely owning it by positioning yourself that way. And anything mighty that you're trying to accomplish in your life will follow with an enemy. Okay, so there will be an enemy behind anything great that you're trying to accomplish. So as you try to accomplish health within your body, within your life, and you're trying to improve yourself, there will be an enemy behind that because he'll try to knock you off your block and try to keep you from getting to that place and trying to achieve that higher level, in all areas of your life. And so if the message is, I am this, I can't do that, I am this is basically what I'm pigeonholing myself into, that's what it's always going to be. It's going to be every year. It's going to be every holiday season. You'll always be a sugar addict. You'll always be committed to that way of thinking. But if you can, I've got two messages going at one time here, but if you can see yourself brighter, better, overcoming, but if you could also see yourself as the warrior that we're discussing that you need to be in this segment every week, week after week, you will battle the temptation that you have to have the sugar instead of confessing over and over again that you're an addict. Now, if you're an Alcoholics Anonymous and you have to stand up and say, I'm an alcoholic, and you have to acknowledge it, okay, then you have to acknowledge it. But when it comes to sugar, 7 days can reset your entire system. and that is the complete removal of sugar, and your addiction will be gone. You will not be constantly in need of sugar. Now, as soon as you bring it back in, you're going to go back to being in need of sugar. Same thing with alcohol, same thing with heroin, same thing with cocaine, right? But we're trying to guide you and instruct you on a way of thinking that is different, a way of thinking that it lines up with overcoming and expecting that something hard, difficult, challenging, and struggle, that some type of struggle is coming, okay? There is darkness in life. There is difficulty in life. There is not always going to be an easy road, most especially on the path to health, and most especially on a lifestyle journey for health. So you have to put your shield up. And if that's a shield of faith, if that's a shield of muscle, if that's a shield of commitment, discipline, perseverance, if it's the people you spend your time around, the things you allow yourself to listen to, these are all forms of shielding yourself from allowing the weakness to prevail and to become what you don't want to become, which is an addict. No one is an addict to sugar, okay? You might think you are, but you can stop. It can end. It does not have to be your life. So the first suggestion I want to make is stop saying it, stop speaking it, stop owning it, stop making it your situation, okay? And the other thing is get tough. Get tougher than what you are. Get around some tough people. Start listening to some tough messages. Start listening to some people that are not always talking about the pot at the end of the rainbow. And start listening to some people that have been through some hard times, and they literally created a podcast called Warrior because we legitimately need to become warriors to be able to manage our way through this life.
I think off the back of what you're saying, I like the idea of not owning that you're an addict. Too many people own too many things, honestly. I mean, I was told by one psychiatrist that I'm bipolar. I was told by another psychiatrist that I just have extreme anxiety. I was told by another psychiatrist that I have chronic depression. I have traumatic brain injuries. You can see those on a scan. I've dealt with different things that have to do with PTSD. I've been told I have PTSD. And if you ever hear me claim that, like on the radio or in a conference or on a stage, the reason I claim that isn't actually for me and because I claim it. It's so that someone sitting in the audience that's claiming the same thing can see victory, because I've already overcome it. And what I mean by that is I talk to people. It's so fascinating, clients as well as just people out and about, that'll be like, well, I have anxiety. So, and you're like, so. Like, they say it. They say the so, and I'm like, okay, but like, what are you getting to? Or, yeah, I'd like to, but I have depression, so. Like, it's not an excuse. Does it make it harder? Yeah. Is it going to be more to battle through? Sure. Like, does having traumatic brain injuries make my day tougher? Yep. Does having something that triggers like PTSD where I can wake up in the middle of the night dreaming about a child that I had to pull dead out of a pool? Yep. Does that make it hard? Yep. But at the end of the day, I got to wake up and I am awake. So what am I going to do about it?
Do it hard.
What's happened up until that point, it doesn't matter. Like, if you used to not be able to give up sugar, give it up now. Yeah, easier said than done, John. But is it? Is it really easier said than done? Have you actually tried to apply yourself to it? Or are you saying, well, I have insert something here, so.
The problem is it's not easy. That's
Correct.
The actual problem.
Correct.
You're thinking it should be.
Yeah, and that's
it's not. It's really hard.
And we talked about that last week.
You're just going to have to suck it up
People
and do
selling
it hard.
you the easy route. But I always like to ask you, like, which hard do you prefer? And what I tell people is there are two hards. There's the hard you're doing that has you where you are, unhappy with what's going on around you. And then there's the hard of the unknown that has a pattern that has been seen to be successful in others that could potentially get you where you want to be. I'm going to say that one more time in different words. You are where you are right now, and you're not happy, and it is hard. You might be overweight. You might be unhealthy. You might feel like garbage. You might not want to be alive anymore. That is not easy. So when you think about the hard that you're going to have to go into to get into the gym, to meal prep, to do the workouts, to get your mind clear, It's not easy. I'm not going to even sell you that it's easier than what you're going through. It might be harder than what you're going through. It probably is, because you've probably become comfortable in your discomfort. But on the other side of that is something positive. So would you rather take the chance that it could be better? You deserve that shot. And if you're owning every day, like, well, I have anxiety, I have depression, I have to have my sugar, I have to have my glass of red wine. I used to drink a case of beer a day, and I don't touch alcohol. You know, if you had asked me 12 years ago if I'd ever quit drinking, I would have laughed at you. You know, so it's doable, guys.
Absolutely. For more information on what we do at Integrity Training Systems, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208 to schedule a free personal fitness assessment with any of our personal trainers. For gluten-free, dairy-free, nutrient-dense, healthy baked goods delivered to your door from My Personal Bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, including chicken and eggs, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. We just got done talking to you about what it means to be a warrior. And Deb, you touched a little bit on this in talking about how to overcome not claiming being an addict, claiming that you're having different problems and that you can't get out of them or you can't beat them. And one of the things you talked about was like who you surround yourself with, like surrounding yourself with tough people, surrounding yourself with people that you align with. We always say, you know, obviously the Bible tells you surround yourself with like-minded individuals. And I don't think that just has to do with faith. I think that has to do with people that are attempting to fight this life the same way that you are to get through the same kind of problems that you've been through, and finding stronger people that have overcome what you've overcome. I mean, a large part of my job, it's interesting, you know, I'm a personal trainer, but a large part of my job is actually helping people to overcome what they need to work out. You know, it's like I train them how to work out. I teach them the form. I show them how to not get hurt. I string their workouts together for them. I build a plan. All that's important and necessary. But a lot of times it's like, okay, how did you do that through wanting to drink a case of beer a day? How did you do that post heart attack? How did you do that post breaking your back? How did you do that post needing to lose 100 pounds? Like, what drove you to do that? And so surrounding yourself with someone who's done something you want to do is just smart, right? But sometimes people don't understand why you're trying to do what you want to do. If you've surrounded yourself with the opposite of that, someone who's like, okay, but you can't have one off thing today. Like, you can't have one drink. Like, isn't it kind of ridiculous that you're like that? Something that I get a lot, this is pretty fascinating. I'm kind of jumping all over the place here, but in regards to that is, it is mind blowing the amount of people that get healthy and their friends and family members say, don't lose any more weight. Like, are you okay? Like, you look too skinny. And like, there is
a compliment,
right? There is such thing as too skinny. Like, you can be emaciated. You can for sure be someone who has an eating disorder and has yourself too skinny. But the concept of what's too skinny has become interesting.
Yeah.
These people that are being told this are still running a 15 to sometimes 20% body fat. You know, and they're being told you're too skinny. I mean, that's a very healthy range. Getting down to that 15%-ish range, our acceptance of what is generally considered not too skinny and the amount of weight that someone's carrying is kind of scary. But that's not what I want to get hung up on. What I want to get hung up on is like, if that's what someone's telling you and it's going against, like, you feel good, you feel well, you're happy with your body, you're happy with the way you look, you're happy with anything, and someone's getting in your face and kind of saying, a lot of people say you have to judge someone's intention, and I agree with that. If someone has positive intention by trying to tell you you don't look healthy, you judge what they're telling you with positive intent, for sure. They're not trying to hurt your feelings, but it doesn't mean you have to listen.
Right.
You know, quit letting someone tell you that you're not healthy when the professionals you're seeing tell you you are, and quit letting someone tell you that what you're doing is not okay.
Yeah, I mean, I just think, you know, what you don't, you're not always going to meet people that are doing what you're doing
No.
at the level at which you're doing it. So that doesn't really make them unhealthy, okay?
Right.
Just because they are not doing it.
They may have figured out what works for them.
And we're not, we're not the type of people that sit down at a dinner and start judging people based off of what they're eating.
It's actually funny that usually gets projected on us. Like,
Right.
hey, I'm just going to have this. And we're like, okay, we don't care.
Okay, we don't care what you have.
It's up to you,
do what you want to do. We don't care. And, unfortunately, there are just some people that will project. They project their insecurities onto you. So as you're attempting to make changes, even if it's years into having made changes,
sometimes it has to do with
you're
them.
just going to get around some people and they're going to make you feel like you're crazy.
That's good.
They're going to make you feel like you're the Lone Ranger. They're going to make you feel like you're the one with the imbalance because you're in this group setting and you are the only one that is not eating that way. I watched it with my daughter. We've gone we went out of town, and there's a couple scenarios, and when we were out of town, and a couple scenarios outside of that where she's done some things with church that my daughter's been involved with. My daughter is perfectly fine with the way she eats. We come up with incredible recipes. She loves everything that she makes, but she gets around a group of people, and before she knows it, they're making her feel weird because she's not having a piece of bread at a cafe. They're making her, just like, okay, well, couldn't we just at least get you a plain piece of bread? She told me she ate a plain piece of toast. There was nothing on it. Was it good? Not really. I mean, it was just a plain piece of bread. Okay, well, you don't even really need to be eating bread. We don't even eat bread. Just go there and get a fruit cup. But because of the group of people, everyone else is eating a piece of bread. Now suddenly she's feeling like she needs to eat a piece of bread. Other dinners, well, we just wanted to make sure that she was able to have a dessert, so is it okay for her to have this, this, and this? To be honest with you, Sophie would be just as satisfied if you gave her a bowl of cherries. She doesn't sit there and feel like she needs to have a dessert. She is so ecstatic with how good she feels. She doesn't feel like that. But because she has this whole group of people and she's only 12, you're influencing her to think that she's missing something that she shouldn't be. Now, she recenters herself when she gets around us and is like, I'm fine. I don't even need that. And all of those people are dealing with their own health issues, and most of them need to lose weight. This is what our daughter will say. So I don't really know that I really need to be taking their advice.
And that's the whole thing, though, is like you said, like maybe they're healthy, maybe they are, maybe they're not. And their intention is positive. Like whether they're projecting on her that they want a dessert or they just feel bad and they want to actually make her have a dessert because they're caring people. They don't do the same thing we do to understand that it's like that if you want to show her care, help her with what she's trying to do.
Right.
And I want to talk a little bit about that more next segment too, but it's like it goes beyond food. Like it goes beyond health even, or even, fitness, food related health. And it gets into just all aspects of life. Like if the people you're surrounding yourself with are giving you advice, like there's good advice for things that you might feel like you don't need right now that you're going to hear later in life and think like, okay, I should have listened to that back then. But then there's good advice that if you really stop to think about and you pray on it and you give it thought, you'll realize like that advice is only applicable to that person's past life. They are telling you advice based off of what they did and where it got them and how they feel about it now. It doesn't mean that it's 100% going to be accurate for you. So you have to take everything that someone says with a grain of salt. And the reality is the Bible says take every thought captive. So anything that you think or someone puts into your mind, you really need to stop and think like, is this for me? I mean, even with what we're telling you, is this for me? Well, if you're sitting around unhappy, it probably is. Like something's got to change.
And I just think if you're starting on a health journey, just be careful who you decide to talk to about the health journey with.
Because everybody's got an opinion.
Everybody has an opinion, and they can plant seeds of doubt where you literally didn't even have doubt. You were so confident. You were so motivated. You were so inspired. You were so encouraged. And then some random person comes and says something negative to you. Don't let that input in you, and just be cautious of who you decide to talk to about it with. Because again, there's no guarantee that they're going to build you. They may actually break you down because of it. For more information on what we do at Integrity Training Systems, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door from My Personal Bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. This is John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. We just kind of spent some time in the last segment, if you're just tuning in with us, talking about not letting somebody, you're telling the wrong person about what you're trying to do. And what I'll tell you in the health and fitness world is kind of interesting is there are a lot of people with a lot of opinions. And I laugh because I feel like every career I have had, that's the case. Like, I don't feel like everybody thinks they know how to work on an engine, like a mechanic.
Right.
Like, not everybody feels like doing that. I don't feel like everybody tries to be like, yep, I totally know how to install granite, right? But if you are a cage fighter, a police officer, or in the fitness industry, everybody knows what you're supposed to do. Like, well, cops, they don't really do the right thing, and they're just pigs, and they're just out to write tickets for the city. They got them quotas. And, I mean, I'll be honest, I know the law. Like, oh, do you? You do. Okay, great. Like, maybe you should go teach it to the cops you're saying that don't, or like fighting. Like, I love the guys that are like, yeah, man, I get out there and, I see red and it's just over. I'm like, I bet it is, because you probably get knocked out, because the worst thing you can do in a fight is lose your calm. Okay. And then personal training fitness. Like, yeah, no, I don't ever really need a personal trainer. That's my favorite. Like, my husband said that I don't really need one. Okay, well, tell your husband you'll continue to be 90 pounds overweight then. And I'm not trying to be a jerk, but it's like everybody says that. Well, in this industry, what I'm going to tell you is if you do nutrition with Debbie, not with John, because John is dumb and can only teach you how to pick stuff up and put it down. But if you do nutrition with Debbie, you will get the result. If you do what you're supposed to do and you actually follow the rules, you'll lose the weight. You'll get healthy. You'll put, sicknesses in a better place. You'll help with, the outside results of rashes and fatigue and all sorts of stuff. She helps with all sorts of stuff. There's also other nutrition coaches that I will tell you, some even online, that you'll get the same result. You'll do well. You'll be healthy. You'll get something out of it. But what I will tell you as well is if you go to Debbie, you go to the nutrition coach online, and you come to me and you do a little bit of all three, you will get zero results. This is the problem. If you tell everybody what you're doing and you take information from here and information from there and information from there, and I'm not talking about you being somewhat educated and teaching yourself furthering. I'm talking about it's an industry you know nothing about, and you've got one health coach telling you one thing and you have another health coach telling you something conflicting. That doesn't necessarily mean one's right and one's wrong, but what it does mean is if you put those together, it's going to be wrong.
Right.
Like, it's not going to work out because they're both going to have reasons for having you do what you do. And most times what people pick out of the things the three coaches are telling them are what they like. Sure. Well, that coach lets me have dairy, and that coach gives me more calories, and that coach is okay with me having a cheat meal every 36 hours. So I'm going to have dairy. I'm going to eat the most calories I can. I'm going to have a cheat meal every 36 hours, but I'm going to do the rest of what they say. Right. That's the problem. Like, you're going to take the easy route. So stick with someone and get it right. I want to get off that soapbox, though, and talk a little bit about what you were ending with. And you said, be careful who you tell something to. I want to get out of fitness for a minute. Any of you that have something you want to accomplish, we're approaching the new year. We're in December, which is absolutely insane. And everybody says, what is it? New year, no, hang on. What is the new year, new me? Or what's that saying? New year, new me? Is that it? Okay, I thought it rhymed. That doesn't sound near as cool as it did in my head. I'm going to come up with something cooler, like new year, new deer. Or I don't know. I'm going to work on it, okay? But new year, new me. Everybody's coming up on this, right? If you have a dream or a vision for something you want to accomplish, health, you're looking to take your business to the next level, which I'm telling you right now, if you're looking to take your business to the next level, we got a president coming in right now. You better step your game up because you got about 4 years to accomplish something that you may not ever have a term to accomplish something in again. Okay. If you're an entrepreneur, I'm just putting that out there. But if you're looking to accomplish something and you tell somebody that vision or how big that dream is, and they talk you out of it or tell you that, I don't know, or are you sure you can take that on, or they're negative about it, you have chosen the wrong person to tell your vision. And what I'm going to tell you is be careful what you tell them moving forward. Because a lot of times if someone's telling you you can't accomplish something, it's because they've already defeated themselves in their own mind, and they're never going to be in a position to help lift you up. You need to go find someone else to talk to about it. And I'm not talking about constructive criticism. Have you considered the rent? Have you talked about these numbers? What are your plans for these numbers? That's constructive. That's someone who's actually trying to help you figure it out. But if someone tells you, I don't know, like, I'm not sure you can take that on, you just want to make sure that you're talking to the right people. Okay. It's okay to be realistic, but I'll be honest with you. Most great things that happen don't sound realistic to anybody else but yourself.
Yeah, I think actually the more feedback you get that you're crazy or the more people that actually come against
go after
you and really, kind of think you're crazy, I would have to venture to say that you're probably more on track with where you need to be than what you think. Because you're going to have an occasional person that you're going to speak to and you're going to see that they just get it. Like the puzzle pieces just start getting put together and it makes sense to them. And you're going to realize, okay, I'm doing what I should be doing. I've just got to keep doing this, and I've got to get myself around people like that. And from a fitness perspective, one thing that I want to suggest for you is that if you ever choose to discuss this change that you're making, so you're around a group of people and maybe you're all out to dinner together and they're like, why are you ordering that hamburger with no bun? Why are you ordering it without cheese? Why are you not getting French fries and you're getting steamed vegetables? Oh, I'm just trying to change my health. I've got some low energy.
Yes.
I find myself feeling achier than I used to.
The right verbiage.
I feel like I have some brain fog. I just don't feel like I'm as sharp as what I used to be. I'd really like to be stronger. I'm worried about my bones. I'm just feeling like, overall that my body isn't in the condition that it needs to be in to be able to go through this next 10 years of my life. Do not, under any circumstances at that table, say, I'm trying to lose 30 pounds.
Right,
I'm
or
trying
I'm on
to
a
lose 60
diet.
pounds. I'm on a diet. Don't talk about weight loss. Don't talk about a diet. Don't talk about that. Talk about your health. And then you will see who is on your team and who is not on your team.
Right.
The people at that table, if they look at you in the midst of all of those comments, needing to improve brain health, needing to improve your structure and your alignment, needing to improve inflammation, needing to improve blood sugar, and they still try to convince you to have something, and they still try to basically let you know that you're the odd man and you're the crazy one for doing things the way you're doing it, those are not your people. And if it's your spouse, I wouldn't suggest getting rid of your spouse, but you really need to stop talking to those people about any of this. You just walk it out in front of them. Walk your health out in front of them. Be happy. Be positive. You do you. Don't have any expectations for receiving any support from them, for receiving any positive energy from them. Just simply do you, because you now know, even though you're trying to better yourself, even though you're trying to improve your health, they're still not supporting you. Okay? It's not weight loss anymore. It's not a diet anymore. They're truly not supporting you trying to better yourself. Okay, nugget. That's a nugget. That's a wisdom nugget. It's like someone just made a deposit, needed to know that about that person. We can still walk in love with them. We can still be respectful for them, but we don't need them. It's so tightly interweaved into our inner circle because they are not going to support the vision that we have for quality health. And ultimately what's going to happen is they're going to be the ones that are going to probably help to keep you from actually achieving it. And when you have a low day and you're thinking about doing something that you shouldn't, or you don't want to, or that's not on plan, or that's just simply going to make you feel really bad, they're going to be the first ones to step in to try to knock you off your block and to try to keep you from staying on track. So just watch yourself. When you communicate about what you're doing, make it about health. And here's the positive to that. When we make it about health in those discussions, we attract the possibility of ministering health to someone else. Someone else at that table needs more brain clarity. They, in fact, might be feeling like their memory is starting to slip. Someone else at that table needs a cardiovascular improvement. They may have been told that they have high blood pressure or that they have high cholesterol. Someone else at that table may be dealing with inflammation in their body. Someone else at that table probably needs what you have. Health is a ministry. You can change someone's perspective on all areas in their life just by helping them to change their health. So before you know it, they might decide, maybe not that day at that meeting, at that dinner, but in a month from now, they may be calling you. They may be messaging you. I really need help. I have this going on. Who did you use? Who are you working with? What are you doing? Now you have planted a seed of health in them. And when you start to watch other people change their lives through health, through the way they eat, through the encouragement of just watching you and you becoming an influence to them, that's priceless. That's worth more than money, because you truly will watch their life change from the health transformation, and nothing beats it, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's an example of, someone not having your back on something. I think there's examples, there's two ways to look at different types of people having your back and not. You have people who don't have your back because they're not supporting your health there. They're literally so hung up on what they think they know, or their own, self-reflection on not doing it and knowing they need to too, that they will not back you on going after your health. And then there's also the other side of that, and that's someone who could have potentially tried something and failed so many times. They were with the wrong people. They did it the wrong way, that they're talking to you out of their own past. And I kind of mentioned that in the last segment. It would be similar to like, I've tried doing that before, that gluten-free, dairy-free thing, and I ended up not being well, and it kind of made me sick and this, but it's like, what else did you do wrong with it? Did you really give it what you needed to give it? So when you're assessing, like, does someone have my back or not, just figure out, like she said, it's like a nugget. Like, okay, I'm going to take that into account. That way I know as these conversations further if this person has me. I'll talk about my dad real quick. And if you listen to the show, it would be hilarious because he knows that this is how I feel. But he told Debbie's niece the other day, she was in town for Thanksgiving. She works for, is it Meritz?
Mm-hmm.
And so she spends like 300 days out of the year out of state.
And out of the country.
Out of the country even. She was leaving us the next day to go to Mexico for 2 weeks and then leave there straight out of there to Hawaii for 2 weeks and then somewhere in Europe or something like that. And so he told her, well, just be careful, how much you work. Be careful about that because you get to be my age and you don't really get to enjoy it because you have worked so much and so long and so hard that you kind of miss those years. And then also, like, now I just feel like I'm not doing something that I don't know what I'm doing. Like, I feel like I have to be busy.
If I'm not working, then
I'm not working,
I'm not effective.
Yeah, you almost felt like he's not effective. And like, I can understand that, but then it's like, okay, then find something you love to do and work at it. Like, be effective at something and make a difference. And she loves her job. Mm-hmm. She loves what she's doing. So I watched her kind of compute that, and my dad's just trying to help because he's saying that out of the idea that he kind of feels like he's spinning his wheels trying to figure out what to do in retirement. And then, like, I know he thinks that we work a tremendous amount because we do. Mm-hmm. Debbie and I together probably breach 150 hours a week put together, but we have a vision. Like, it's not going to build itself. Mm-hmm. We have to build it. I'm looking to leave a legacy of health for my daughter and for thousands of people. Like, that doesn't just build itself, so maybe the why is different. Think about that when you're considering who you listen to and what they say. They may not even have a negative intent in it.
Absolutely. For more information on what we do at Integrity, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to your door from my personal bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com.
Welcome back, everybody. This is John and Debbie Morris with Integrity Training Systems on Real Talk 93.3. We've been talking a lot about like who you surround yourself with and making sure that you're telling the right people your vision and telling the right people your dream. We also talked about the complications of the holidays. should be bright, fun, exciting times. And people get stressed out. And I think the biggest thing is in life, the best stress reliever is discipline. And I found stress to be fascinating. Like, let me just pull this up real quick, and then I'm just going to like say filler words here. Do you want me to sing while I look up the definition of stress?
Absolutely.
I should have had this ready, but
yeah.
So no, you don't want me to sing at all.
Ooh, I like
No, nobody else will. Okay, stress can be defined as a state of worry or mental tension caused by a difficult situation. Now, hear me out. A lot of times what we're stressed out about is not doing something that we should either be doing now, which is procrastination, or something that cannot be done now that we should be worried about later. We're either worrying about something that is outside of our control, or we're putting off something that we should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
So if we discipline ourselves to not think about what we shouldn't be thinking about till the appropriate time, and to accomplish the tasks that we're putting off and shouldn't be putting off, we actually alleviate a lot of stress. And that goes kind of to every aspect of life, like life in general. A lot of stress can be beaten by implementing those two ideas. And so with the holidays, I'll give you a for instance, kind of funny. I will work Christmas Eve. I will work from 5 a.m. until 5 p.m. at night, where we leave and we go straight to our church for the evening church service and kind of start. And then I'll take Christmas Day off. And then I take the day after Christmas off. People think that's weird. Like, why would you take the day after Christmas off instead of Christmas Eve? Well, because I'm going to spend 17 hours. Okay, not that many. But I'm going to spend some time taking decorations down. That's what we do. We take our decorations down for Christmas times. Thanksgiving, we do the same thing. We take the day of Thanksgiving off. We take the day after Thanksgiving off. The reason we do that is because we put all of our Christmas decorations up. We take all of our Thanksgiving decorations down. Why am I talking about this? We put those days in to prepare for those, because like my dad has had his Christmas tree up for 4 years. Like, literally, like they got to where they just started decorating it differently through the year, which I guess is a thing now. Uh-huh. They call them like year-round trees or whatever. It's hilarious. They did that on accident. But like, if you don't prepare for that, we put up a lot of decorations. Like that could be daunting. Like, oh my gosh, when are we going to get to that? I'm so tired. Now Saturday is my only day off. And I'm going to, so if you're doing this, if you're living your life without implementing and preparing and disciplining yourself to have things in effect, like it can become pretty difficult to get through life. You're going to be stressed out more. If you haven't figured out when to buy presents and you're racing around in the last week before Christmas trying to buy presents, that is real stressful. You're not wanting to let people down. You're not trying. And it's like you have yourself, instead of enjoying the holidays, stressed out. Holidays are interesting because it actually shows us that, life is like that though. If you don't meal prep for the week, if you don't plan for what you're going to be eating, then you get stressed trying to figure it out. And you ultimately usually end up making a bad decision, and then you don't feel well. If you're stressed out about Christmas, you actually don't usually get to enjoy Christmas. And I know a lot of people that talk about getting healthy through the holidays. If you can get healthy through the holidays, this is what I want to kind of get to. Don't wait till January 1st. We're in the earlier stages of December right now. Get started now on your health. Get started now on your New Year's resolution, because if you can start building disciplinary parameters during the holidays, you are going to not only be ahead of, but you are going to crush January. And so if you can get through this phase, I've had so many people that start nutrition and training in October and November, and they say, this is the first year that Thanksgiving and Christmas weren't about food for me. I didn't stress about food. I knew I just couldn't do it. I didn't stress about what pie I wanted to bring. I didn't freak out about how much I was going to eat or what's there. I wasn't lethargic, and I actually got to enjoy my time with my family because it became about that, not about the food.
I think that often a client will, kind of mess up on their food, and, they will have been on like a really good path, right? Staying very consistent, and then just kind of blow it. And so my thought isn't, well, great job, you blew it. My thought is, okay, let's backtrack. What happened? What happened on the day that you decided to go ahead and have something? And you just start breaking it down. In some cases, it's, well, I just wanted to have it. Okay, fine. I'd actually respect that, honestly, that reason more
Right.
than anything when people just say that. Then in some cases, it's I was stressed and had a traumatic situation happen, so I turned to food, and food was my outlet, and I used food as my way of coping with the stress. Other people will tell me, well, at the end of the day, the real reason why I blew it was because I just left the house unprepared.
Yes.
Okay, here's the thing. If you had a disease like I had, you would not ever leave your house unprepared. I've had a dog attached to my hip for the past 3 weeks because John bought me a puppy, and I've been taking her everywhere we go because she has to go to the bathroom every 2 hours. If I can do it with a dog attached to my hip, you can do it without a dog. Okay, if you can do it with a baby, you can do it with
Everything's
your
actually
kids.
easier with a dog.
Right,
No, I'm just
exactly.
kidding.
But I don't leave my house without being prepared. John and I might just be running somewhere, and I grab something.
Yesterday, we went to a couple shops for Christmas, and there was a suitcase in the back. It wasn't a suitcase, but there was a big cooler. She brought me a bowl of my chicken noodle soup chicken potato soup that I meal prep every week. She brought me beef sticks, fruit, and some of our protein cookies that I didn't even eat. That's not including what I ate. That was the extra over the top that was in a cooler that was able to be put back in the refrigerator when we got home because it didn't go bad. It was properly cooled. That was extra in case we were out longer than intended. I got hungry. My blood sugar shifted or anything like that.
Yeah, we just run into the gas station and warm up the soup. It's no big deal. I brought myself a salad. I brought pumpkin seeds. I brought some of my already cooked egg whites. I don't ever leave the house unprepared. Now, the night before, I'm starting to figure this stuff out. I have my clothes set out for what I'm doing the next day. Maybe I'm only going to the gym. Maybe I'm only going to Palm to do cryo or to do the salt room. I know what I'm wearing when I go to that. So it's one less thing that I have to do that next day. It's one less thing that I have to get together or get prepared. But I don't ever leave the house without knowing what I'm eating and drinking that day. There is nothing out there at a fast food place that I need to be eating.
Right.
So I don't have any options. If you really want to take your health seriously, you have to have that as an option. You can't make any excuses for why you're not prepared. Okay, now if you just simply have to eat out,
Yes, that's what I was going to
then
ask.
go to Panera and get a salad and just have them leave off the cheese, have them leave off the croutons, have some olive oil as your dressing, have an apple on your side as your side. Have them make you some eggs for breakfast and get a fruit cup. Run into Quick Trip and just get some raw almonds or get some raw cashews. If you need to go to Freddy's, get a lettuce-wrapped hamburger. Get a lettuce-wrapped hamburger and steamed broccoli at Red Robin. Go through, just the curbside pickup at any of these restaurants and just get meat and vegetables. There is a way. There is a way for you to get something healthy just as easy as there is a way for you to get something unhealthy. But because you didn't prepare, it's easy to just be like, I blew it.
Well, and so that's the thing is, thank you for covering that. That's what I was going to add was, for you, that's really not an option. For other people, those things out there you shouldn't have either. Like you said, there's nothing in a fast food restaurant you need. Well, the reality is for you, if you don't have as severe of a situation as Debbie, maybe there's something you can get. But just because you know that there's not anything you need doesn't mean you should just get whatever you want.
Absolutely.
And this is also the problem with discipline is if you're in a state of hunger, okay, if you haven't disciplined yourself to get to that time of day with food prepared, most times you won't go for what you need, you'll go for what you want because you're pressing into your feelings. So
Exactly.
if you go to pull into a restaurant or a fast food joint and you're hungry, you should have ate 2 hours ago, you didn't meal prep or bring the food you need to, you pull in and you're thinking, I need to get a lettuce-wrapped hamburger, you're probably going to leave with a triple bacon cheeseburger on the bun with a strawberry shake. At least that's what my brain would go to.
Right.
So just avoid that situation and show up prepared.
Get out of that addict mentality and tell yourself, I'm going to win this day. I'm going to win this meal. I'm going to win this month. I'm going to win this year. I'm going to win this life. For more information on what we do at Integrity Training Systems, take a look at integritytrainingsystems.com or give us a call at 636-299-2208. For gluten-free, dairy-free baked goods delivered to you from my personal bakery, take a look at sophiesbakery.com. And for 100% grass-fed beef, the only meat that the Morris family will eat, take a look at fedfromthefarm.com. Thank you so much for listening, and God bless.